Ladies and gentlemen, today presenting you with this topic นะคะวันนี้เรามาด้วยท็อปิกพิเศษอีกแล้วนะคะเราอยู่ในซีซั่นของการคุยเรื่องของการ presentation and public speaking วันนี้นะคะเราจะคุยกันเรื่องของการสร้างประโยคเด็ด present เนื้อหาให้ได้ปังโดดเด่นโดนใจไม่ซ้ำใครเพราะใครคือเราคือ professional นะคะเป็นไลฟ์ที่เราแอบเอาความลับนะคะของคอร์ส Speak Brilliantly Excel at Public Speaking and Presentation in English ชื่อยาวมากมาฝากทุกคนเพราะมีคนถามเข้ามาเยอะนะคะส่วนใหญ่เราคิดคอนเทนต์แน่นอนแล้วก็เอาตามที่แบบว่ามีใครถามอะไรมาสนใจเรื่องอะไรเราก็เอามาบอกทุกคนนะคะครูคณะเปิดสอนเรื่อง Public Speaking เรื่องการ Present เป็นภาษาอังกฤษแล้วสอนอะไรหรอในคอร์สเนี่ยสอนพูดประโยคพรีเซนต์หรอแล้วเรียนออนไลน์เนี่ยมันจะพูดพรีเซนต์เก่งขึ้นแล้วเราเรียนยังไงเนื้อหามันเป็นยังไงนะคะวันนี้เราก็เลยจะมีคำตอบให้ว่าเรียนอะไรที่จะช่วยให้การพรีเซนต์ของเราดีมากยิ่งขึ้นเรามีเนื้อหาอะไรไปพูดมากยิ่งขึ้นเราจะพรีเซนต์เก่งขึ้นได้อย่างไรวันนี้เอามาฝากทุกคนเลยนะคะ If you wouldn't mind I'm going full English mode. Is that okay? Today I'm not going to teach you what sentences you should say for your presentation, for the opening that everyone should. Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I don't know. Or the closing that everyone should be like, thank you for your attention. It should be this sentences. I think I don't know if you agree with me and this is my opinion. I think you will be able to find these definite sentences anywhere else. You can find them on Google, on blogs, on I don't know, YouTube. But today I'm sharing with you the techniques, which is public speaking techniques, which is called rhetorical devices, so that you can start creating your own content, your own messages, to make it like captivating speech. So what I want to show you today is these techniques. There is this tool, let's call it a tool เป็นเหมือนเครื่องมือนะคะ and this is not only for speaking but also for writing. So if you're interested in writing, I think this should be fun lesson for you as well. This is called rhetorical device. Rhetorical device is basically how you use certain words. You use words. This is a definition from your dictionary. A rhetorical device uses words in a certain way to convey meaning or to persuade, mainly to persuade, to have some like full impact kind of content. It can also be a technique used to evoke emotions. ปลุกเขาเรียกอะไรอารมณ์อารมณ์เรียกอารมณ์ร่วมขึ้นมาwithin the reader or audience. So this applies to both speaking and writing. Once again, this is the content for intermediate to advanced level นะคะอันนี้จะเป็นสำหรับพี่ๆน้องๆที่ต้องการใช้ภาษาอังกฤษให้ดูเป๊ะดูแบบว้าวมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะ Alright, so now I have provided some examples of some rhetorical devices. Actually, there are so many of them. There are like so many, countless of them. But today I've select something that you can take it. Once you understand it, you can write down whatever like the wow script that you have for your own speech. Number one, the first figure of speech that you can use is repetition. Repetition. Repetition แปลว่าอะไรคะ What does it mean? Repetition means repeat, right? Repeat again and again and again.Repetition as in the context of rhetorical device, it means that you actually use certain phrase, in order to make impact again and again and again. So you use this few words and then again and then again and then again. We're going to take a look at some examples. เมาหายไปไหนเอาเมาอยู่นี่ Okay. So this is a speech which is you could say historical speech, and this is a speech by Martin Luther King Jr. It's called I Have a Dream. Well, disclaimer, for copyright issues, I'm gonna play it, but then I have to stop in between, but you can find it. You can search it on YouTube with the title "I Have a Dream," and you will find his speech. อ่ะลองให้ดู
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
So he started like the whole speech. Actually, the whole speech is long, right? But then there were parts of it that it's really motivating, really like wow, it's so motivating. It's like share emotions, like everybody got like so wow. And this is the part where he starts saying, I have a dream, blah blah blah. I have a dream, blah blah blah. I have a dream, blah blah blah. Yeah. So this is part of it. Let's skip a little bit.
That all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
So again, he used I have a dream to really convey. You can say like, I wish one day America will be no racism no more. It would be nice if we are all united as a one nation regardless of the skin of the color. I would love to see if you do that. Of course it seems like it's a variety of sentences, but if you use I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, it actually really like เหมือนตอกใจอะ if you actually really put the whole emphasis into your dream, your vision, as when there would be no racial discrimination in America anymore. So I probably cannot play the whole thing, but okay, let's a little bit more.
Even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream.
So he starts each point that he makes by I have a dream. So we're going to take a look at the script now, yeah, so that you get the picture. So these are some parts, yeah, the excerpt of his speech, Martin Luther King Jr. So he begin each point of the demands of his like equality in terms of race and skin color in America. And back then it was such a big deal, right? So let's read it together. I have a dream that one day, I'm not as impactful as Martin Luther King obviously, but just to show you the message. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and lift out the true meaning of its creed. Blah, 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 blah. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state of sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream, again and again, and it's not just injustice, yeah? It goes on. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today, or something like that. So this is the speech that changed the history of America. These repetition of I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. So these are some examples of how you can use repetition of certain phrase. It might seem like for some people, right, it might seem like มันดูแบบเฮ้ยทำไมใช้ประโยคซ้ำกันอ่ะคิดประโยคอื่นไม่ได้อ่ะ It's for certain emphasis. There are functions to that นะคะมันมีเหตุผลว่าทำไมถึงใช้ซ้ำกันเพื่อย้ำซ้ำๆย้ำซ้ำๆย้ำซ้ำๆให้เห็นถึงความสำคัญของวิชั่นนี้นะคะ Let's take a look at another example. Maybe this is one. Oh, it's too back in the past. Let's see something President Obama, not former President, former President Obama. Yeah. So just now we saw I have a dream in front, right? This one is I believe. Yeah, I believe. Let's take a look.
A belief that there are better days ahead. I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, homes to the homeless, and reclaim young...
So that's I believe. Again, if you want to watch actually the full speech is like 16 minutes long, but you can go on type this on YouTube and you will find this video from CNN, yeah?
People in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. America,
So he used I believe, just a little bit more you will see.
Same urgency that I do. If you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubt.
And then he used again another kinds of repetition. If you see that I do, if you see that I do, if you see that I do. Yeah. Let's take a look at this transcript. Yeah, the speech script. So for Obama, instead of I have a dream, you can use whatever phrase to start that point. Yeah, it doesn't have to be I have a dream. You can say anything else. So for this speech, Obama used I believe. Yeah, I believe. For example, I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road of opportunity. I believe. Again, it goes back. It shows that it's the same thing, but you put so much emphasis into it. It feels more energetic. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, home to the homeless, and reclaim young people in the cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroad of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. Something like that. And then he goes on, if you see that I see, if you see that I see, right? It's really putting it's like เหมือนค้อนใช้ค้อนแล้วปักจุดนี้โดนเลยโดนอีก something like that. Okay, so it's pretty much like that. So you can maybe those of you who want to start practicing now, I'm gonna go on, but let's practice a little bit, shall we? We can practice this. Think about your speech right now, or anybody who is doing a speech or preparing a speech content or message right now. You can think about how you can really elaborate certain points using this repetition. For example, I don't know, this is like spontaneous on top of my head. For example, this is a project that this is a project that changes life. This is a project that will be the future of this is a project that we all maybe you can start with this is a project. Yeah, whatever the kind of phrases, but if you use repetition like this, it could help with the emphasis, with the impact of that message. Yeah. Now we finish with repetition. You see, right? You understand that, okay, repetition, you can use, that's one figure of speech. That's one rhetorical device. Now, the second one, this is second example. This is called anadai-plausis. Anadai-plausis. Am I pronouncing? Yeah. The main idea is that, this word probably comes from Latin, maybe. Yeah. So, this means that you actually use the last word or phrase that the last word or phrase from let's say this is your sentence, and the last word or phrase is repeated in another sentence, repeated as the beginning of another sentence. เหมือนต่อคำเนี่ยคำสุดท้ายเอามาขึ้นคำแรกคำสุดท้ายของประโยคอีกต่อไปแล้วก็มาขึ้นคำแรกคำสุดท้ายของประโยคต่อไปแล้วก็มาขึ้นคำแรกอีก something like that เหมือนต่อคำเนี่ย so this is from the quote from Yoda. Any Star Wars fan? Okay, so let's hear it together.
Here is the path to the dark side.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. This is how you use to actually connect ideas to one another. It seems like you use simple words. Hey, ไม่มีคำอื่นที่จะใช้ให้มันดูเป็น variety เหรอ Oh no, it's not. It's actually to be able to connect one ideas to another, one ideas to another to see how they all link as like, you know, one to another, one to another. And that's help the listener or the reader digest the message better. For example, fear leads to anger. And then again, anger leads to hate. Yeah. Hate leads to suffering. Right? Something like that. Yeah. So this is another way that you can use. Yeah. To another rhetorical device that you can use. Another thing that is quite interesting. Yeah. Another idea that's very interesting is called antithesis. Yeah. Antithesis. Anti means go against, right? Thesis is like topic, right? So again, this is two opposite ideas, contrasting ideas put together in the same sentence to show how it contrasts with one another, to really show that it's black and white, left and right. Yeah. For example, we're gonna watch this recent speech by Joe together.
Trust and confidence you placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
So can you see that where is the contrasting effect? Did you see any contrasting effect? Let's do it again.
Trust and confidence you placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue.
Do you see any contrasting effect? So of course this is Joe Biden, the new president of the United States of America. เฉลย Let's go. So this is a message, yeah? I pledge. Is it too small? I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide but unify. Yeah. Not to divide but unify. To see that actually you can say like ไม่ต้องมี not to divide ก็ได้อะคือ I promise to be a president who seeks to unify ก็ได้ก็บอกเลยว่าฉันสัญญาว่าฉันจะเป็น president ที่ล้อมรวมทุกคนเข้าด้วยกันก็ได้ก็ชัดๆอยู่แล้วจะมี divide ไปทำไมก็ unify มันก็ต้องไม่ divide อยู่แล้ว but this is actually mainly to make sure that he really want to show the contrasting effect that before there was some division, right? There was some interpreting from what he means, right? Means there's some division going on that it was divided before. So he want to show that no longer divided, now it is unified. I'm gonna make sure of that or something like that. Yeah. Who doesn't see the reds or blue states, he can just say I pledge to see only the United States. But he put the negative part in there just to show the contrasting effect. เป็นคนที่ไม่ทำแบบนี้จะทำเพียงเท่านี้จะนั่นอะไรอย่างเงี้ย so that was there in order to show the contrasting effect, right? Or maybe another example from Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong. I can't pronounce his name. The first man on the moon, right? So this is the most famous statement, I think, as well. Setting foot on the moon may be a small step for a man, but a giant step for mankind. Instead of just saying, setting foot on the moon is a giant step for mankind. ก็จบ But he put this here as a contrasting effect in order to show that, well, it seems like just like one step on the moon, that's it. But actually, it's a giant step, a great leap forward of mankind. เป็นแบบก้าวใหญ่ของ ของมวลมนุษยชาติอะไร something like that, right? So this is contrasting effect. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin because they are then, right? But by the content of their character. So again, instead of like, oh, I wish my little children will only be judged by their character. No, he really wants to show that the contrasting effect, right? That now, then, maybe people with off skin color, they are judged by the color of their skin, right? There's a lot of racial discrimination going on. That's why he wants to use a contrasting effect. Okay, you can see this example, right? So far so good. Now this is another thing that it's called antithesis. Yeah, antithesis. All right. Now another thing, I totally recommend if you are going to do any presentation, any speech, especially persuasive one or also informative one, I really recommend that you use something that is called metaphor. So metaphor is actually saying that something is another thing, not just is like, is exactly another thing by using its meaning. Meaning that something is something else because there are certain meaning that link to one another. For example, this is a more musical example. This is a Katy Perry song, Firework. Have you heard the song? Baby, you're a firework. ไม่เหมือนเลยอะ Yeah, so baby means ที่รัก or darling, you're a firework. หมายถึงเธอเป็นพลุแบบเธอเป็น literally เป็นพลุเหรอไม่ใช่หมายถึงว่าเธอแบบพลุแบบเพราะว่าเธอมีความพิเศษเธอมีความสดใส you have this character like you deserve so much, you shine so much, you're so bright, you're so I don't know to the moon, to the space, to the stars, something like that. So you're a firework. So this is actually using something to say that okay, you're a firework, or maybe like a little bit more clear. This is the song Titanium by Sia, I think. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium, right? นี่เรากำลังร้องเพลงต่อหน้าคนเกือบพันอยู่แล้วเนี่ย I am titanium, right? So you shoot me, but I won't fall because I'm bulletproof. Duh, like I'm a titanium means I'm strong, right? Not that I'm literally like ฉันเป็น titanium ฉันคือเหล็กชนิดหนึ่งฉันเป็นตัวไทเทเนียมฉันไม่ใช่มนุษย์อีกต่อไป No, but to use its meaning, the meaning of titanium to say that I'm bulletproof, I'm very strong, I'm not gonna back down. That's what it means, right? So you use certain meanings of something and say that something is something else. This person is this thing. This thing is this person, something like that. Okay, so this is metaphor. If you listen to English speeches a lot, especially business related, career related, maybe you might have seen some of these like interesting idioms or metaphor, which is like it's a popular saying. For example, something is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. So like I understand that the project or this development or learning is a marathon, not a sprint, maybe. Yeah, lifelong learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Or like our growth is a marathon, not a sprint. Or our skill development is a marathon, not a sprint. This is also another type of metaphor, yeah, or not the type, but example of metaphor. Or something is the tip of the iceberg, yeah. So you probably have seen these photos before where like there's this like ยอดภูเขาน้ำแข็ง right? And then this is the tip of the iceberg, the tip, right? And then like below ทำไมเหมือนมันต้มไงไม่รู้ below this เหมือนแครอทมากกว่า below this are the whole iceberg, right? But knowing this is like the idiom saying like what you see now, this problem is only the tip of iceberg, means just a little things that you see because there's so much more than that. below the surface, right? So you use this as another metaphor, or you can say like time is a thief. Time is a thief, meaning that actually that time seems to pass very quickly and our lives flashes by or something like that. So you can say time is a thief, something like that. Or love is a battlefield. Usually we use metaphor to match the connection between what people already know. So people understand, they have seen the tip of the iceberg. They understand what a marathon is. They understand what a sprint is. They understand what a thief is, right? So you connect between the previously unknown concept คือเราจะพูดถึงเรื่องอันนี้ซึ่งมันค่อนข้าง abstract and connect to the things that people already know, already understand so that they understand this new concept much better. So this is how you use a metaphor in any speech. Okay? Let's practice this together. Use a metaphor into anything. You can say something is something else or some things are something else. Okay? Let's practice this. Now, what I want to tell you is that there's a lot that you can do to deliver a great presentation. And sometimes I understand that. เป็นเหมือนกันไหม I used to have this feeling and belief when we see really talented people on stage. Like probably you see me now and you probably think, wow, this person is born a speaker. Wow, this is so great. Like, how did they come up with such great sentences, great content for their presentation? Like, I'm not good at it. My English is not that good. Like, I couldn't think of like awesome things to say. So have you felt like that? I definitely could relate to that because I will be looking at people who are really good at speaking and I will be thinking like, wow, I wish I have that ability too. But what I didn't know is that there are a lot of techniques, a lot of things that people can do learning each and every, like for example, today you have learned 4 of them, right? What if you can keep increasing your techniques like this and adding things here and there in your speech? เอาแค่4อย่างเนี้ยใส่เข้าไปใน speech ทุกคนว่ามันสวยขึ้นไหมล่ะมันก็จะดูเหมือนมีอะไรขึ้นมาดูดีขึ้นมาเลย yeah so there are a lot more than this that you can do yeah so that's why what I really provide in this course is a lot of people ask me that แล้ว speak brilliantly อันนี้สอน presentation สอนอะไรสอนให้พูดประโยคอย่างนี้หรอแล้วก็ทุกคนบอกมาพูดประโยคเหมือนกันให้ใช้ประโยคเดียวกันหรอนะActually, if you want to really be able to give a great presentation or become a great presenter, maybe like, this is my opinion, yeah? This is just my opinion. Maybe it's just me, but what I think that is แบบครบวงจรthe whole cycle of it. I think we need to start with being able to build the confidence first. Means you need to feel ready to give a speech first.Or feel ready to like feel encouraged that maybe I can make great sentences, maybe I can speak with energy, maybe I can do my best in pronouncing things clearly, maybe I can draw the attention from people, and given that confidence, only then you could be exercising your full potential on stage, right? And then the next thing, you should be able to prepare whatever you're gonna speak on stage.People don't just walk on stage and like, I can speak anything today, like, okay, like people are gonna listen to me because I'm beautiful. No, of course not. You need to have time and put a lot of effort into crafting your own message, just like what we did now, right? And applying whatever we have learned, like rhetorical devices, the content, some wording, some word choice, some sentence structures,some parallelism, repetition, all these things into your own content so that it sounds beautiful, it sounds professional. You need to give yourself time to prepare that, right? And as you prepare more and more, it gets faster in your brain. รู้แล้วพูดอะไรดีรู้แล้วพูดอะไรดีรู้แล้วพูดอะไรดี But the more times you do it, right? And then you learn how to speak like a pro, right? You learn how to speak like a pro in terms of, which is more than the message, the words now.คือไม่ใช่แค่ขึ้นไปบนพูดเนี่ยมีคำพูดสวยๆแล้วขึ้นไปพูดแล้วมันจะดูดีขึ้นมาใช่ไหมคะเราก็ต้องรู้ด้วยว่าเราจะเอาไอ้คำพูดเหล่านั้นผ่านปากของเรามายังไงให้ มันไปถึงคนให้มันน่าฟัง what kind of tone of voice what are the accentuation the pitch the volume how high how low will you listen to me you probably won't listen to me or if I speak like this all the time you probably go away from me ไปหมดแล้วเนี่ยไปครึ่งหนึ่งแล้ว right or the stress the intonation the enunciation all these things we should be able to know exactly when to pause when to go fast when to go slow when to really emphasize again and again these are the things that you will enable you to speak like a pro right or maybe how to captivate the audience as well it's not just pronouncing things correctly it's not just using fancy words it's not just using the right verb with the right subject conjugated with the right subject or something like that it's beyond grammar or vocabulary now it's other techniques to be able to captivate your audience right I even teach you how to be like funny or something like how to use the visual aids how to engage your audience how to like hello John hello Anna or something like that or how to tell stories how to use narratives in your own speech something like that right and of course I understand totally for so many people I'm guessing that a lot of people are working from home right now due to COVID-19 situation and speaking on stage in front of people in a controlled environment is already hard enough now you're sitting in front of camera or webcam or your laptop and everybody else sometimes they turn on the camera sometimes they don't how do you know that you're gonna still get the attention from the people how do you know that you can get the message across how do you know that people didn't just fall asleep and not listening to what you just said right so you want to be able to make the most effective online presentation as much as possible that's why I totally understand that and I add this as a special topic for this curriculum yeah so all right so these are the things for those who want to go further with us in the ability to present or to speak publicly this is the curriculum we have for you and the things that we teach for today is something that we is some examples of the 1% that we teach in this course นะคะ I used to teach public speaking in Thai เนาะก่อนหน้านี้นะสอน public speaking เป็นคลาสที่เป็นภาษาไทยแล้วนะเข้าใจเลยนะคือความกลัวมันกลัวไม่ใช่แค่กลัวข้างในนะมันออกฟิสิกอลอ่ะทุกคนเป็นปะออกไปพรีเซนต์ข้างนอกอ่ะแล้วมือมันสั่นอ่ะ you're shaking you're literally shaking sometimes if it's inside and you can control it it's fine but sometimes it go out as physical reaction you stutter when you speak it's really annoying right and you want to give the best speech but then you get nervous and then you get nervous you shaking and then you're shaking you mess it up ปัญหาโลกแตกอ่ะ right so we also tell you what to do in building your confidence first of all before you get into anything of course you have to believe in your own capacity and your own ability to ace this to achieve this and know that you have capacity to be able to develop the skills and it's not innate ability you see me now talking to a camera technically to myself but literally but technically to 300 400 of you but I'm sitting in my room alone talking to a camera how do I make that seems like I'm actually talking to you that's something else right so okay this is speak brilliantly this is a course that we teach นะคะ and once again let me clarify นะคะอันนี้อีกครั้งหนึ่ง warning ว่าเหมาะกับใครหรือไม่เหมาะกับใครเพราะมีคนถามมาเยอะมากนะคะว่าเรียนได้ไหมควรเรียนไหมอันนี้เหมาะกับเราไหมเราจะเรียนได้หรือเปล่ายากเกินไปหรือเปล่า The first thing I need to say that this is not a course for beginner level อันนี้นะคะไม่ได้เป็นคอร์สสำหรับระดับ beginner เนาะจริงๆเรามีคอร์สที่เป็นคอร์สของ beginner ด้วยนะคะก็จะเน้นในเรื่องของการปูพื้นฐานพูดและฟังเลยนะคะอันนี้จะเป็นอีกหลักสูตรหนึ่งเลยแต่หลักสูตรนี้ไม่แนะนำเลย สุดไม่แนะนำเราจะบอกแล้วบอกอีกว่าอันเนี้ยไม่ใช่สำหรับ beginner นะคะสำหรับคนที่สื่อสารเป็นภาษาอังกฤษในชีวิตประจำวันโอเคแล้วแต่อยากที่จะสื่อสารบนเวทีหรือไปถึงคนมากๆให้มัน professional ให้มันโดดเด่นโดนใจดึงดูดคนได้มากยิ่งขึ้น so whether you're พูดภาษาไทยแล้วกันไม่ว่าคุณจะเป็นผู้บริหารนะคะหรือเป็นคนที่ทำงานที่ต้องใช้การทักษะการพรีเซนต์เพื่อเฮ้ยถ้าเราจะเติบโตในสายงานสาขาอาชีพของเราได้เราต้องมีความสามารถในการพรีเซนต์งานไม่ว่าจะเป็นลูกค้าไม่ว่าจะเป็นพาร์ทเนอร์ไม่ว่าจะเป็นบอสของเราเป็นคอลลีกของเราให้มันดูโปรมากยิ่งขึ้นได้หรือใครที่เป็นผู้เชี่ยวชาญในสาขาอาชีพคำนี้น่ารู้สึกจะมีหมอมาอยู่นะมีหมอทุกคลาสเลยคอร์สนี้น่าจะหมอและผู้เชี่ยวชาญค่อนข้างเยอะมีแบงเกอร์มีคุณหมอมีนักวิจัย right I think so yeah มีผู้เชี่ยวชาญ if you are the experts in the area and sometimes you feel like okay I want to be able to really scale my work the result of my work I want it to be known to the people อยากให้มันเป็นที่รู้จักของคนมากยิ่งขึ้นว่าเฮ้ยเราทำงานอันนี้มันค่อนข้างดีมากๆเลยนะมันเป็นโปรเจกต์มันเป็นสินค้ามันเป็นงานวิจัยมันเป็นข้อมูลที่จะช่วยคนได้อีกมากเลยเราต้องการขยายผลตรงนี้อันนี้ก็จะเป็นอีกหนึ่งอันที่ช่วยได้หรืออาจจะเป็นผู้ประกอบการ if you are business owners entrepreneurs and you want to be able to scale your business to a more global market this would be your go-to course as well or if you're a speaker educator content creator that you want to start developing your own skills English public speaking presentation skills which is very different from Thai so I think this should be helpful course for you as well ถ้าใครไม่มั่นใจว่าแล้วฉันจะเรียนไหวไหมคืออันนี้มันเป็นคอร์สสำหรับ intermediate to advanced นะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเราทำเป็น self assessment form ไว้ให้นะคะสำหรับใครที่อยากจะลองเช็คเนาะเดี๋ยวนะแปะลิงก์ไว้ให้ถ้าดูจากใน YouTube อยู่นะคะเข้าไปที่แคปชั่นมันจะมีเขียนว่าเราเหมาะกับคอร์สนี้ไหมเราเลือกคอร์สไหนดีอะไรประมาณนี้นะคะลงไปดูในลิงก์ข้างใต้ description ได้เลยนะคะแต่สำหรับใครที่ดูใน Facebook อยู่ในคอมเมนต์นะคะ so I recommend that if you get to use it you really get to use this or you plan that this year is a year that you want to be scaling your work you want to be replicating your work elsewhere you want it to be known to a bigger group of audience then this is your course if not you don't have to take this yeah okay next so what I really want to say เราเหลืออีก2วันสุดท้าย2วันสุดท้ายนะคะ2วันสุดท้าย2 days left นะคะสำหรับส่วนลดพิเศษ early bird จาก 8,200 บาทเหลือ 5,500 บาทซึ่งอันเนี้ยน่าจะเป็นครั้งเดียวที่เราลดเยอะสุดๆแล้วเพราะว่ามันเพิ่งเปิดมันเป็นซีซั่นเชงเพิ่งเปิดประกาศคอร์สนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นสำหรับใครที่ตั้งใจอยากจะลงช่วงนี้จะเป็นช่วงดีที่สุดคุ้มที่สุดที่จะลงช่วงนี้เหลือเวลาอีก2วันนะคะเราหมด Early Bird วันที่5วันศุกร์ที่5กุมภาพันธ์นะคะสำหรับใครที่สนใจก็สามารถเข้าเรียนได้เลยถามว่าเราเปิดตลอดไหมเราเปิดตลอดนะคะแต่ว่าช่วงนี้จะเป็นช่วงที่ราคาคุ้มที่สุดเราต้องจบด้วยความดูแบบดูดีมีสกุลลุนชาติด้วยสโลแกนนิดนึงนะ Show the best version of yourself through your ability to speak brilliantly นี่ใครคิดต้องสวยมากโอเค above all things สำหรับทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างนะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของไม่ว่าทุกคนที่กำลังดูอยู่ตอนนี้ whether or not you're beginner level in intermediate level wanting to be able to speak fluently to speak professionally whatever your goals are is to really keep in mind that you have more than enough capacity to learn and develop your skills and none of what I'm speaking right now none of what people you see on YouTube or people who seem to be successful at what they're really doing none of that comes from innate ability None of them is like, wow, super gifted, and they don't have to work on anything. Everything is a learned skill. Yeah, everything is a learned skill, including public speaking, presentation, speaking English, all these things. So I want you to really understand that you have more than enough capacity to learn this and get really, really good at this more than you can expect. Okay? Thank you so much. I believe I have a dream that one day you can speak brilliantly. I shouldn't. Okay. All the best and happy learning. And that's it for today. Bye bye. สวัสดีนะคะ